Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you very much. I do appreciate your support. This is the daily forecast for the collective. It is for all signs and it is a collective reading, so I do speak in broad terms. Take what you need and leave the rest. Always use your own highest intelligence and intuition when using my readings, right? So don't take anything that I say over your own knowing, right? If there's something that doesn't fit or doesn't feel right, it may not be for you, so that's okay. Nothing's broken or wrong. You might just be working on something different. But if what I do say does fit with a situation or how you're feeling or a place in your life, please feel free to utilize it to the best of your ability. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu on the daily readings. In there is some housekeeping rules, things I want you to know as far as what decks I'm using, how to support the channel, how to book a private reading, all of that sort of stuff is available to you. And just things I want you to keep in mind when utilizing my readings in your day-to-day life, when making your personal, your own decisions. What else was I going to say? Sorry, I just was having a sneezing attack before coming on. So I want to talk a little bit as I shuffle the cards about kind of what's going on, because I watched a great video by a reader that I really love and appreciate. Her name is Awakened Priestess. And she had a great way of describing kind of what's going on planetarily in her full moon video, right? Tonight, because I'm filming this a day early, we have the full moon in Cancer, and we need to remember that it does affect us for a few days prior to the full moon and a few days after. There's like this overlap. We feel the energies coming on, then we hit the full moon, and then we feel them sort of dissipating off. We have Venus in retrograde. Uranus was in retrograde and is about to come out, I believe, of retrograde and go direct. And then there is Mercury went into retrograde, I believe, on the 14th. So communication and our love, like how we express our love, is going to be kind of revisited. Things from the past, things from how we communicate our love. Okay, sorry, this is going to get a little bit confusing, and this might be a long video, so bear with me. If you guys want to skip to the tarot part, you certainly can. Venus is how we express and experience love. When it's in a retrograde, it's like we go backwards. We revisit things, right? And it's retrograding, I believe, in Capricorn, which Capricorn is sort of like the father, right? He is opposite the Cancerian full moon, right? And so he's all about structure. He can be a Capricorn in tarot is associated with the Devil card, which can be about obsession, repetitive patterns in our love that maybe isn't necessarily working for us or causing us harm, maybe looking at those sort of things, that kind of a thing, right? So as we're revisiting that, right, we also have Mercury going retrograde, and Mercury can be about how we communicate. It also has control over sort of the mind and a little bit over the mind and a little bit over electronics and things like that. So there's usually during retrogrades of Mercury, there's communication difficulties, there's misunderstandings, there's things of that nature. But we also are revisiting those areas where we might get worked up, triggered, lit up about, a certain way that we're talked to, or a certain, communication that didn't go our way, whatever. So we've got a lot going on there, on that alone, right? And then my understanding is that, and this is all kind of having gotten a better explanation from it via Awakened Priestess to explain to you guys, and also I read Hair in the Moon, which I posted in the group. And I love how she describes astrology too, because she's very much sort of in this 5D, 3D realm, and it's very epic, but I resonate with what she says. And oftentimes I notice things after I read her posts about what's going on. I notice how the cards are similar. I didn't necessarily phrase it that way, but I can see where what she's saying is in my readings after the fact. It is a further validation of what I'm seeing in the cards. So on top of all of that, the sun, which is our end card for this week as the underpinning energy. And it's interesting because this week's weekly starts off with the card of Judgment, which is the energy of Scorpio, and it's Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, right? And it ends with the Sun at the end of this week, and we have the Star card in the midweek, right? And we have here the Yellow Tiger Mother for our weekly card. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, watch the Sunday reading, because that's the underpinning energy and sort of like the theme of the week, right? And through that theme, we are to relax through all of these changes. So Cancer, being the full moon being in Cancer, full moons are about release, right? Cancer is about the mother, nurturing. She's on the opposite side of Capricorn, right? And she represents the mother, the home, nurturing oneself, emotions, that sort of thing. On top of that, Venus is having us visit matters of the heart. Mercury is having us revisit matters of communication, how we express ourselves just sort of with our own intelligence and our own brain, right? And then we've got Pluto, which is coming very close to the Sun. And those two cards, we have Judgment, which is also Scorpio, which represents Pluto, and then the Sun at the end of the week. Those two guys are doing everything. And so as the way that Awakened Priestess described it, which I loved, was as the two planets of Venus and Mercury go retrograde and go like back through the basement and revisit some of the things we didn't address, right? Or we maybe are still holding on to. We've got the energies of the Sun and Pluto kind of also coming in, and the Pluto is the great transformer, right? He kind of like gets in there and shifts things, the stuff, the great unknown, the things that we don't see, the shadow side. He represents those sort of things. That's Scorpio energy, sex, death, and sort of regeneration or transformation, right? So he's gonna be messing around in a way with our deepest, darkest sort of fears, maybe around love, communication, that kind of thing, or, touching on those sort of things, that sector. The Sun is going to shine light on all of that. And we're going to see it for what it truly is. It's up to us, like with yesterday's Lovers card, to make a choice as to how we choose to move forward with this. Do we choose to stay stuck in the misery of the past and in the pictures and memories and upsets of the past? Or can we sit with them? Can we relax? Can we find peace with them and move towards something else, right? And that to me is that Judgment rising to the call, right? Transforming, allowing Pluto and the Sun to shine light on the things that maybe are potentially our Achilles heels, and to sort of come up out of that into something new, to sort of be reborn or be rebirthed, right? Here, the Yellow Tiger Mother, which we've been seeing all month long, like she's been showing up all month long in the beginning of January. I really feel like her job here this week is to like remind us to stand strong in our truth, right? To hold tight and to allow these transformations to take place, to be kind to ourselves, which would be Cancerian energy, as we look at some of the past pains, the past upsets, miscommunications, and we let them go, right? That's part of the Pluto sort of Sun conjunction, I think, is the light getting shined on them so that we can transform them and release them. And that's also sort of in a weird way answering the call of like our soul's evolution. As we all do this individually, collectively as a planet, hopefully that happens for us too, right? Everybody's going through this in their own different experience of it, through their own different situations. But if you find yourself with that Cancerian energy of the full moon in a reflection period that's emotional, allow yourself to be there, but know that being strong in your truth and being like holding tight to what's true for you internally as the transformation takes place is going to be powerful medicine. Okay, let's look at the card for today. We have the Eight of Cups. Not surprising, guys. Eight of Cups would indicate walking away from a situation, taking the higher road, a situation that's emotional. I definitely love that this person is having a conversation with that very large moon up there in the foreground, right? And there's still a path to be taken. There's still a walk that's not necessarily the easiest of walks. We're going through the dark night of the soul in a way, right? With Mercury and Venus both sort of going retrograde on us, and Pluto's coming in and dredging up our deepest, darkest sort of stuff, asking us to transform it. And then the sun is going to come in and sort of brighten all of that up so that we can truly see it for what it is. The Eight of Cups to me is about taking responsibility for that emotional stock or inventory, and moving away from the thing that maybe used to charge us or push our buttons, no longer wanting to be sort of attached to that situation in a way that is, either no longer serving us or the situation or the other person, right? This is kind of like taking the higher road, sitting down, finding that sort of harmony within oneself to go like, you know what, I can't do this to myself anymore, or I can't do this to them anymore, or I'm no longer going to feel this way anymore. And I know that it's easier said than done. And the Eight of Cups doesn't indicate that we're quite over with the walk yet. We have to be strong enough to sort of look at what is going on with us emotionally. And I feel like the Cancerian full moon and Venus being retrograde is going to force us to do that, right? But if we sit there and we have that conversation with ourselves and we nurture ourselves through that conversation, we may find some really wonderful aspects or understandings or knowledge. And that to me is the yellow tiger mother, right? That's the truth that sits underneath all of this that we need to sort of be strong in and steadfast in. And that's the sort of truth that allows us to stand up and move forward. Now, oftentimes the Eight of Cups is depicted as somebody walking away, right? So there is a departure with the Eight of Cups. And that's heading towards the Nine of Cups, which is oftentimes what they call like the wish granted card, right? Where we're so proud of ourselves. We've done the emotional work and we have everything lined up. So we're en route for something good as long as we're not too rooted in the past or stuck there. This, to me, this gentleman is seated having that conversation with the moon. Cancer is associated with the sign of the moon, right? Or the planet the moon. And so as we're having that deeper conversation within ourselves this week, what are we choosing? Take pause. That's kind of the relaxed stone for this week. And understand that whatever you're going through, whatever you might be feeling, even if it's emotional or a little bit hard, know that the challenges are there for you for a reason. And know that you too shall find your way out of this just with sort of the sheer desire to, the reflection. Don't fear what's coming up within you. Feel it, right? That's sort of, I think, a little bit of why this man is seated in this card, is he's willing to take a moment to look at the situation for what it really is emotionally. How is it, or if it is serving him, and then continue his journey forward. We see that path along that craggy cliff, right? So it does feel a little bit scary, and that to me, maybe a little bit unlit or unknown, right? But that to me would indicate that there's that sense of strength and that truth that here the yellow tiger mother wants from us, right? She says, get in there and roar. Hare and the Moon astrology yesterday, when I read that to you guys for the weekly, Kali popped in my head because she says, stick your tongue out in the reading. And every time I see that, I think of like Kali. She's often depicted sticking her tongue out. She's a goddess of destruction, right? She sort of is a goddess of war. She's a powerful feminine deity that is about, the destruction of things so that new things can be reborn. And I think that's sort of the transformation that we see in this week's early judgment card. And then the settling in the middle of the week with the new transitions of the star and the peace that comes with that. And then the sun coming in at the end of the week where we get to start new again, fresh again. So there's a lot going on, right? There's also things that I didn't even explain about the north and south nodes changing signs, which to me are, I'm not even really sure how they affect. They are part of how the eclipses come about, but they are also in the process of changing signs too. And so they are shifting, I believe, from, I want to say Gemini and Sagittarius to Taurus and Scorpio. Again, that's the judgment card. And that the way that it was explained over on Awakened Priestess's channel, which I really loved, is she was saying that it's kind of like we're being forced to choose either love, a new way to love, or, a death of the spirit. And that to me feels a little bit extreme, right? Because I believe that the universe always gives us chances for change and for free will, and that nothing is ever static, right? There's always an opportunity or a window reopening or a door reopening as we come, forward in our life. But there could be cycles that we have to wait to transpire or happen before that window reopens again. So this is a powerful time to do inner transformative emotional work that allows us to maybe come out of this a little bit more aware of how we love, what kind of love we want, what kind of love we're choosing for ourselves. Are we pursuing that love successfully? How we communicate that, how we, what are our thoughts around that? These are the things that I think that all of these, and here in the moon, astrology has something going on with Eris, the great disruptor, which I don't even fully understand because Eris is an outlying moon, I believe. I think of Jupiter. But you guys do your homework and dig it up, right? Find it for yourselves. It's just interesting because as I look at some of my favorite people that I watch or read on some of the things, I see stuff in these cards and it feels like, my cards are right in line with what is being told in other channels of information. So let's look at the Kwan. Oh my God. I'm going to read this to you one more time, you guys. All right, she's doubling down. She's like owning this month. This is her month. This is like she is setting the tone for January. She wants to be our foundation for January. She looks, I'll have to say this because her face changes to me a little bit. She looks a little adamant and smug here. Like, yes, indeed, dear, you need to do this work. And I know that you can do it. Right? She looks like she believes in us more than we believe in ourselves right now. That's the feeling that I get. And it's interesting to me that her direct eye to me looks like it's directly pointed to this person seated, having this conversation with their subconscious or with their deeper emotions, going, can I do this? I don't know. And she's saying, indeed, you can stand strong in your truth and move forward. Step away from what is no longer serving you. Right? But also remember, sorry, it's kind of a little bit out of focus there. Remember that the word this week, or this grounding stone this week that we are to ground in while we do this work, is that word relax. Like, do not overcome yourself. Do not overwhelm yourself. Do not get caught and swirled up in all of this as it happens. Be peaceful as you do this. Be gentle as you do this. Be strong in your truth as you move through this. And know that the yellow tiger mother resides within you. You can care and respond and take care of yourself with strength and compassion, all of that, right? So keep that in mind as you move through this. Let me go to this reading. I'm going to read it to you again. This is like her 7th time showing up, 8th time maybe, in 18 days. Sometimes we must be strong and hold true, whilst all around us seems to be shifting and changing. The yellow tiger mother, Kwan in her guardian role, is roaring her divine sound within you. She asks you to hear her, to remember that you are a powerful being of light. And even whilst you are in flow with universal forces, your strong roots help you to be at peace with your truth, standing your ground whilst your light shines true. So in other words, whatever is being shown to you emotionally during these retrogrades, with the sun and Pluto in like deep in the basement, showing you all the dark sides of the soul, Understand that you're strong enough to handle this and that you can do this and you can stand true in all of this. In our surrender to the divine forces, there are times when we must be flexible and flow, and then there are times when the surrender is into holding strong and being true to our inner knowing. There are inner truths that we know are worthy of the effort to grow strong enough to honor them in our lives. These are the truths of kindness, compassion, and the right of each individual being to be spiritually free and loved and more. The yellow tiger mother sounds her roaring note within you. She is a fierce, protective tigress, and yellow is her golden strength and wisdom. She urges you to listen for her sound within and trust yourself. You know when you need to stand your ground and not be swayed. So in other words, as things change or as feelings come up, as choices are made, or as things we choose to release and walk away from, we need to understand that we have the strength to do all of this work during these transitions at an individual level, right? And then watch it happen collectively. You are more powerful, strong, and courageous than you may realize. Your strength is not stubbornness or resistance. It is holding firm to what you feel in your heart to be true. And in time, you will come to realize the wisdom of your courage. Your strength at this time is needed, like a protective shield, providing nurturing to a young plant. Your strength and refusal to be dissuaded from your truths helps your dreams and highest path continue to manifest. Allow yourself to hear the yellow tiger mother as she gifts you with power, strength, and knowing. Be brave and stay true to yourself, beloved. Hearing the yellow tiger mother. If you cannot do this exercise physically, then you may like to visualize doing this exercise instead. Stand with your feet on the floor firmly grounded. Rock lightly on your feet, feeling where all four corners of the feet connect to the floor, and then bounce a little. Without lifting your feet fully off the ground, really feel your connection and weight on the ground through your feet. Place your right hand on your solar plexus, just below your rib cage, and your left hand on your upper chest, and say aloud, I am a courageous being of light. I am in alignment with universal forces, and truth is my powerful ally. I do not need to force or defend. I simply remain steadfast in my truth now and always, through my own free will. I hear the sound of the yellow tiger mother Kwan within my being emerging now. If you want to give a roar, do it. Stick your tongue out and feel her power within. More power to you, beloved. And that stick your tongue out is where I think of Kali, right? Which was in yesterday's Hair of the Moon astrology. She was citing Kali. I also like that it says here, I am in alignment with universal forces, and truth is my powerful ally. I do not need to force or defend. That is the relaxed stone that we see this week. In other words, go on this journey with this full moon and these retrogrades and allow them to show you where and what you need to change, and then just gently relax and release and let go. That is the Eight of Cups. Make that choice with love and compassion, like yesterday's Lovers card, and move through this week like the midweek card, which is the Star, which is peace, right? Understanding and knowledge of oneself at a very clear, subtle, quiet level, and move through this in that quiet strength. Now, prayer of the yellow tiger mother. Kwan Yin, beloved yellow tiger mother, I need courage and strength now to be true to myself and allow my own light to take root and grow. Nurture me with your strength of spirit so that I might realize that I have your strength within me too. It is my strength, my courageous heart. Help me, beloved, now to realize my courage and have peace in my heart. And all of this heart stuff would be this Venus retrograde right now, and how we communicate it, which would be Mercury retrograde. I feel the roar of your courage and strength within me, and I realize that this is my own courage too. Thank you for helping me realize this, beloved tigress. Om Mani Padme Hum. That is, oh wait, I shouldn't say that as you're reading. I feel like I've gone so long. Let's go to grounding stone. This is something to grounding today while we do contemplate the effects of this full moon and the changes that are taking place within us. It is on Snowflake Obsidian, which is a mixture. It wards off negativity, right? But it's also a mixture and balance of black and white to me, which I like that about this. There's the light and the dark, the shadow and the light side of who we are. And sort of looking at all of that as we go through this retrograde period, as the sun shines the light with Pluto on the darker sides of who we are or what we think about ourselves and how we love ourselves, how we nurture ourselves, how we care for ourselves, how we mother and father ourselves, the expectations we keep of ourselves, right? And that would be the father, right? How we produce, how we stand steadfast in whatever it is we do. Do we see ourselves as lazy or procrastinative or, different things? We're being asked to look at this both emotionally and, also through the sign of Capricorn, which is from the father's perspective too. So this passion to me is about finding, again, we've got the lovers from yesterday. This passion is about finding a new way to love, a new way to communicate that love, a higher love even within ourselves, maybe for ourselves. And understanding that as to being our truth and going after that. Passion to me feels like it doesn't necessarily feel romantic to me here or sexual even in that nature. It feels more about we need that passion to drive us during this time, that want or that desire for a better experience, a higher experience, an evolution or an evolved experience for ourselves. We need to remember that we're here on this planet to sort of find ourselves in all of the day-to-day doldrum stuff that drives us nuts and crazy. We're here to find and connect to our truth. And that should be what impassions us, what emboldens us, what we chase today. Remember, and believe that we can do so and relax in that. Allow that passion to sort of heat up everything and bring about the strength of this yellow tiger mother as we move forward through this week. And allow the transformations to come as they come, right? Feel them, heal them, and continue on. That's kind of the theme I feel like this week. For those of you that have tuned in, thank you so much. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're new to me. Please leave a question or comment. I read them all and I appreciate them all. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how this all works out. All right, have a great day and take care. Bye-bye.